Disco Inferno. The Ardagh Concert Orchestra Music in High Definition Summer Concert Series. Tickets start at €11. For more, see rte.ie/CO.
The RTE Concert Orchestra. Love your orchestras.
Freshen up your garden this bank holiday weekend with half price on selected garden furniture and a third off selected barbecues. Home base.
It's been said the best time to prepare for SEPA was months ago. The next best is now. SEPA, the new European standard covering electronic bank payments, comes into effect on February the 1st, with the migration time for businesses estimated to take 8 to 12 weeks. AIB has made a series of online videos to help. See them at aib.ie/SEPA or call our dedicated SEPA team on 0818 72 0000. We're helping Irish business migrate to SEPA. Terms and conditions apply. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Cleary's Mega Days is now on. Come in store today for mega savings of up to 50% off your favourite fashion, homeware and lifestyle brands. And get reductions on all cosmetics and fragrances. Cleary's Mega Days. Mega brands, mega savings. Must end Monday. Some exclusions may apply.
The Marion Finucane Show on RTE Radio 1 with An Post. Holidays start with commission-free dollars and sterling at selected post offices. An Post. Do more.
Welcome back to the programme. Now, somebody was on from Wexford to say, Marion, just to let you know, we bask in glorious sunshine in Wexford. We don't all live in Dublin, you know. Well, I don't either, actually, as it so happens. But parts of the country are not sunny. And another one from Cork saying, Marion, it's lovely and sunny here in Cork. Now, we've been joined... Oh, by the way, there's a little segment which I marked and on Lucinda Creighton in the Sunday Times today on her week. And if you want to feel inferior, you know, that you're a slug and that you'll never measure, like including before going to meetings in Strasbourg, a quick 5k run around Strasbourg, yeah, and then back home that evening, meets up with hubby and they go up the mountains and for more physical exercise. Anyway, gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go out riding horses and all that, and meanwhile does an amazing amount of work. So congratulations to her, but just it's a government health warning before you watch it. Now, we've been joined in studio by Regina Bushell, who's founder and managing director of Groveland's Childcare, because truly within the papers it's kind of a mixed bag of what's covered in the papers today, but the big one is obviously the creches and the investigation that was done by RTE. So you're very welcome indeed to the programme. Aileen, can I go to you first? I presume you looked at this with great interest.
I did, yeah. I mean, I have 5 kids, and the first 4 were all in creches for various different periods of time. So, obviously, first of all, the documentary was very distressing, and all the follow-up since has been even more distressing in some ways, because it has given much more informative evidence on what's been going on in creches.
Yeah.
Now, having that said, I mean, I'd be the first one to say that I don't think that abuse or mishandling is endemic across the Irish creche system. I was very happy myself, first of all, with creches when my children were in creches, and actually I moved my children from being with a childminder to a creche, because I actually felt the creche was a safer environment in many ways, because childminding is often a black market. Now, my particular childminder wasn't a black market, but childminding can be black market, and I actually was very uncomfortable with the idea of not knowing what was going on in my house all the time. Were the children sitting watching television all day, or was she
what ages were they?
I had 4 under 5 in a creche, and I had 4 under 5 with a childminder.
Now I'm getting more inadequacy, folks. I ran a full-time job as well.
Yeah, and I do get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and run that quick 5k. I just skipped the mountain walk that night. But anyway, so I mean, I find the whole thing is very distressing. But I just think that it has gone very extreme in people saying that no child should ever be in a creche, that creches are an industry and a factory and all the rest of it. Now, creches, and there's a very good piece by Richard Kern actually in the Sunday Business Post where he says that creches really resulted out of the economic boom and the increase in work participation by women, which wasn't, there was no thought of government policy to follow through on women leaving the house and suddenly being in the workplace, and that's actually comes out of a lot of it. And also, obviously, there was the tax individualisation system, which incentivised women to go into the workplace and kind of penalised single income families, because of the dual tax system, the dual tax credit. So I think, the thing about creches is that it's no longer kind of people who go back into the workplace no longer look for a woman to come into the house, or they no longer look for a neighbour.
I don't know about that, because
but they don't look for a neighbour who hasn't been guarded vetted. I mean, that's what a lot of the cases has been, which is why creches were able to spring up kind of organically without any thought out strategy whatsoever. And when government has tried to follow through on it and bring in an inspection system, the inspection system seems to have taken more consideration of things like, can two cars pass each other going into the driveway, and is the toilet seat at the right height, and is there cobwebs in the corners, rather than actually taking care of are the women working in the creche, first of all, are they qualified,
but if you take small babies, and some small babies do go to creches. I mean, small babies, you're not wondering what they're going to get points in their leaving certificate. Do you know what I mean? The thing about qualification, I just wonder for small babies, is it a bit of a red herring? I suppose I should ask you as the...
No, I think that what we saw on television can't be condoned in any way at all. But what we did see was the baby and toddler areas where no government funding goes into whatsoever. Like the ECCE, yes, there is investment going in there, but there is nothing going in to support providers in, our childcare, our qualifications, our training in any way whatsoever that deals with quality training of people for babies and toddlers who are really, they can't tell you how their day is.
This is true. So, I mean, the 3-year-old is in a completely different category.
Yes, you can ask them how their day is going, and in general, a lot of the time they'll say we did nothing, and this is why a lot of the times we put strategies in place to let parents know what their children are doing in the centres.
Right. Actually, can I just cut across you just there? Sorry, Reggie.
Yes.
I actually, this is my one big difficulty with creches, is that when my children were in the creche, I'd get a big notepad every day telling me, that my child had turned in the bed, grunted, coughed. I mean, I think it's a very cosmetic thing, handing parents a report at the end of the day that their child had 2 wet nappies and ate half a bowl of cornflakes. I think that was a lot of just kind of hype and to make it look good on the creche's behalf. I mean, as we saw in the documentary the other night, a lot of those reports were pre-written anyway, or in some creches they were pre-written with no thought at all going into them. And parents not just interested in hearing that kind of thing.
It comes down to management. It really does come down to the whole, who is the manager of the creche your child is going to. I totally agree with you that getting reports saying what your child, yes, you need to know what they ate, of course you do, but how many changes in nappies they had and whatever else. It's back again to the quality of what they actually were doing during the day. What, activities were arranged for them, what interactions, the level of interaction, the quality of interaction. That's what's important, and that's what the HSE should be looking at. I mean, the points have been made that we should have state-run childcare. If the state can't actually, have good inspectors and inspections, what's to say that they will actually be able to run country childcare
I can't think of anything worse than state-run childcare, to be perfectly honest, because everything they run, they seem to make a pig's ear of. I do think there's a couple of issues here that need to be addressed. First, we pay the staff working in creches sometimes less than people get paid when they're stacking shelves in Dunn stores or Tesco's. Now, if you're paying somebody €9 an hour, I don't know what kind of expectation you could have for a professional person in that circumstance. I think we need to pay the people who work in our creches more because they're looking after our children. I completely disagree with Aileen. I sent both my children to creches, and I did want to get those reports. Now, you may describe them as a cosmetic exercise, but I felt at an entire loss when I was surrendering my oldest daughter to a creche when she was 9 months old, and I wanted to hear about how she was getting on throughout the day. Now, you may describe it as a cosmetic exercise. For some parents, it is an issue. I think one thing that needs to be, we also need to recognise and highlight how well RTE have handled this particular story, because over the last 2 years, RTE have been given a kicking, rightly so in many circumstances, over how it's handled many stories particularly with Primetime Investigates, they've done this story extraordinarily well, and I think they deserve a lot of praise for that, because that's the kind of programming I want to see my TV licence funding.
But you know, if you think about it, and people are talking about inspections and that you want inspections, if the inspector comes in, you are not going to flip a child.
Well, that's
if the inspector comes in, you are not going to tell a child to F off.
And that's a very good point. The inspection process